The big winners in yesterday's primary were Donald Trump with 5 states and Hillary Clinton with 4. Last night's wins get both candidates enough delegates to close in on their party's nominations. Here to talk about this more are political commentators J.C. Polanco, and joining us on the phone is Mariah Starr. Hey, J.C.
Hey,
good to
morning.
see you again. Good morning. It's been a while.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Doing great. Well, not so great.
Not so great?
Great because it's
Tell
a
me
mess
why.
of your day. A little sad about last night's results.
What are you thinking?
I think Donald Trump just cleared house. I think he's going to win the whole shebang, and I think he's going to get to 1237 before the convention. I know Mariah and I have been talking about it for quite some time. I was very hopeful. I was part of the Never Trump movement, supported Senator Marco Rubio, and then when he dropped out, I was gung-ho about Ted Cruz. But it seems that the Never Trump campaign never actually picked up steam, and it looks like it was a routing. I mean, I think it's over. I think that Donald Trump is going to win the nomination well before Cleveland, and it's going to be a Hillary versus Donald Trump general election. The question is going to be whether or not Hillary can stop the Trump train.
And it's so funny because, as you said, that it seems like everybody else, like they're just surpassing the other people that are running against them, and they're like, hey, you know what? Donald is going to be you. Hillary is going to be you. Hillary, she was saying we're going to join forces, already stating the fact that Bernie is going to join her, right? And they're going to unite, and Trump.
But, you know, I think Mariah is sad right now because I know he's a Bernie guy on the low.
Mariah, you there?
I am here, yes.
So what do you think about all this?
Well, this is an interesting situation because even though Trump and Clinton are going to, they're likely to be nominees, the real decision rests with the parties because the Republican Party has already decided to run a third candidate if Trump wins the nomination. So we're looking at a third candidate race already, and if Sanders decides to do the same thing, we're looking at a 4-candidate race. So
what conspiracy theory is that, Mariah? What are you talking about?
But do you think that's actually going to happen?
No. First of all, Mariah, what third-party candidacy? There's no such thing. As a matter of fact, you know, there are sore loser laws across the country that make it impossible for a candidate that has run in the Republican or Democratic primary to now run as an independent. So there could not be an effective independent campaign by anyone at this point to run in a general election, Mariah. I don't think there's a third-party ghost candidate, and I don't know who you're referring to. This seems like it's a done deal.
Mariah, do you even think that there will be time for all of that, for them to campaign, to successfully gain supporters?
There is time left. There has been discussion among Republican elites to pick a candidate like Rick Perry or Condoleezza Rice, or even John Kasich if he loses the nomination outright, to go with the Constitutional Party or Libertarian Party. And this would then allow the Republican Party to use an established party already on the ballot with their candidate. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. What I do know is that the Republican establishment is not happy at all with either Trump or Cruz.
You know, a lot of us are not. You know, a lot of us are not happy with Trump, and that's the reality.
The numbers are not
the numbers
showing
are there. The numbers are going to be there for Trump. You know, the latest polls show that 69% of Republicans believe that the candidate with the most delegates should get the nomination, even if he doesn't get 1237.
Right.
And when you're looking at these kind of numbers and you're looking at the polls that are left for states like Indiana and California, I think it's impossible for Trump not to get to 1237 before the convention. Now, this talk about a third-party candidacy does nothing. It's not going to happen. It's as exciting as the Never Trump campaign. If you believe that's going to happen, you'll believe that the Yankees will draft me to play left field. It's not going to happen either.
Mariah, what do you say to that?
I think JC is right about the Never Trump campaign faltering, but what we've got to remember here is that conventions can be strange. And even though Trump will likely reach the 1237 margin, even with the California primary on June 7th, we have to remember that political parties fracture during the convention and immediately afterwards. So we cannot guarantee that Trump will be the only candidate representing conservatives in the election.
Well,
we can guarantee that there's going to be a contest of some kind, either in the convention or outside.
I think the only contest left right now is between Hillary and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a very unorthodox candidate. He's like nothing I've never seen this before. Just yesterday, I mean, the guy goes on TV after sweeping 5 states and looking like what is going to be the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party, my party. And he's going to say that the only thing that Hillary Clinton has going for her is
going to
something
bring that up.
woman code.
I was going to bring that up.
My goodness. Are you kidding me? This is a woman that was Secretary of State, 2-time senator from New York. I mean, one thing that everybody agrees with, I think, is that the woman is qualified, has the credentials.
qualified.
I don't know whether or not she's qualified. She's done some things that upset me and that may make her disqualified. But this idea that she doesn't have experience, she's only a woman and she'd be at 5% if she was a male. If it were any other candidate,
What did you
it'd be
think?
over.
What did you think of her response?
I think her response excites her base and quite frankly, excites independents. There's no way possible that this woman can say, I'll fight for this and I'll fight for that and I'll fight for this. And if that sees I'm playing the woman card, then deal me in. That's exactly, you know how crazy sexy that sounds to people in this general election? I mean, here we go. We have a candidate we're going to spend a lot of time defending. And I think we're going to have a tough time moving forward to November. But the question is, and I think Mariah can agree with this, if Hillary is the nominee, which is likely, can she stop the Trump train? I mean, this is like nothing you've ever seen before. Am I right?
Definitely. Mariah, you still with us?
Yes,
So,
I am.
yeah, I just-
And, Hillary Clinton has already stopped the Trump train.
Stop.
Trump has a large majority, about 60 to 70% of the country, absolutely opposed to his candidacy. And so we're looking at a historic landslide defeat for Trump come November if he's the nominee. So Clinton's already got this in the bag, in the sense of she already has the Electoral College to her advantage, and what she'll be doing is defending Democratic candidates up and down the ticket. So she's looking at a more general election candidacy mode right now.
Do you think that we can actually say that she has it in the bag? Because when all this started, no one even thought Trump will come this far. So do you think that it's fair to say that, you know, she doesn't have to put up much of a fight? You think she's already won it?
She has already won it.
No,
because
Mariah, no
there are
way.
so many people
Are-
who hate Trump that
Yeah.
there are even Hispanics who have never voted, and they are registering now just to vote against Trump.
Can I-
You're going to be seeing
can I
the
tell you-
Hispanic population
I
rising
understand.
up in places like Texas,
Ma- Ma-
Colorado,
Ma-
Arizona.
Mariah,
a lot of
I'm-
Republican states flipping Democratic.
Mariah, hey, I was part of the I'm Never Trump. You know, I'm that guy. I'm telling you, you're absolutely wrong. You have no idea what this guy's capable of. We're talking about 4 months, 5 months or even 6 months of heat coming from the Donald Trump campaign, unorthodox, no holds barred. This stuff is going to rock Hillary. Consider this. Hillary Clinton is under an FBI investigation to whether or not she used her private email server inappropriately and put our national security at risk. Can I tell you, Mariah, Trump is going to eat that up. And it doesn't matter how much you dislike Trump, me included, this guy's going to gain points on that, and he's going to close that gap. The Democrats have no idea what's going to happen. And they're going to see something they've never seen before, which is someone without any, no filter at all. Talk about presidential. Nothing. I mean, this guy's going to come for the jugular, and I think her points are going to drop tremendously.
Well, you mentioned Hillary being under fire, but Trump is under fire as well for Trump University. You don't think that holds weight?
We knew about that. Hey, the Republican base knew about Trump University. Do you know what they did yesterday? They gave him 67, 64% of the vote. There's nothing you can throw at this man. This man is the new Teflon Don. I've never seen this. I mean, can you imagine what he said about Mexicans, what he said about Muslims, what he said about POWs, what he said about all these groups? We knew it. We knew about Trump University. He continues to win these primaries in huge numbers. And let me tell you, and Mariah, I think you'd agree with me, Governor Kasich is doing damage to any movement that we had at all in the Never Trump side. Because what he's done is he's guaranteed that the Never Trump vote is split into 2 sides, and thereby Donald Trump just squeaks into all of these primaries until finally the momentum is so large that he's winning with 67, 64% of the vote.
Well, we have a few more primaries left to see what will happen. You know, do you think it's definite? What are your final thoughts on it, on the next
Mariah?
primaries? Oh, JC and then Mariah.
Oh, I think that Donald Trump is going to win the remainder of the primaries, with the exception of maybe Oregon may go to Cruz or Casey, which I highly doubt. I think this is over. I think that you're going to see California go overwhelmingly for Trump, and I think that Hillary's just going to clean house. And right now she's leading by 800 delegates. She's
Even
gonna,
though Bernie is still in it, he said, I'm in
Bernie's
it
like
till
Kasich. He's
the
still in
end.
it for what? He's in it. You know what? At this point, he issued a release to impact the party platform. And that's nice and cute, but that's no longer going to win you the nomination. And neither is our side. I mean, our side is going to now form an alliance. I joked about yesterday that maybe, Cruz is going to form an alliance with Kasich, and then maybe they'll have a meeting with Muhammad and Jesus and make Moses the Supreme
gosh.
Court justice nominee. And perhaps that alliance is going to guarantee them the never Trump. It's not going to happen. It's over.
Mariah, what do you think? Your final thoughts?
Well, we are looking at 3 critical primaries coming up. One is Indiana. And in that primary, if Cruz is able to win that primary, then he can effectively derail the Trump train. The other one is New Jersey and then California on the same day. And with California being the biggest delegate prize, if Trump is able to win both Indiana and California, he's got it in the bag. But if he loses Indiana, then it'll be a contested convention, most likely.
All right. Well,
So this is going to be very interesting in the next few weeks.
it's been interesting. It's going to continue getting interesting. Thank you so much, Mariah. JC, a pleasure as
Thank you so
always.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.